Thank you for attending our District Delegate Assembly meeting, and let's begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag I want to thank everyone for attending, and let's begin our agenda. The first item would be the approval of May 5th, 2022 District Delegate Assembly meeting minutes. May I have a motion, please? I have a motion and a second. I have a motion and a second. Are there any changes, any omissions?
Just call out a July meeting.
Okay. No changes or suggestions that there are errors? All those in favor of approval? Aye. Thank you. The next on our agenda is a welcome guest. Anna Sandoval is the program director, at least that's what I call her, of the Senior Center, and she's going to have a few words from us. Thank you for attending today, Anna.
Thank you for having me. Ooh, it works. My name is Anna Sandoval. I'm the program coordinator at the Senior Center here in Banning. And I was invited today to talk to you a little bit about the Feel the Cover program that is actually ran by you guys. So I know that the last time was probably 5 years that our director was down here to talk to you a little bit about the program and how much you help us. And if it wasn't for your districts, we would not be able to do this for everybody that comes to our senior center. So these last 2 years, our numbers grew with the pandemic. We were serving 60 seniors prior to the pandemic, and we jumped up to 130. Out of those 130, we're slowly getting everybody back in our building. We've been open since April. And we're very excited. We were a little bit nervous and hesitant, but we're very excited to be bringing everybody back. Just to let you know, the food pantry program did not end at any point during the pandemic. What we would do is we would actually do a drive-through. So at some points when we had more food donated to us, we were able to give them 2 bags per person. And sometimes when we're a little bit low, we'd give them 1 bag. We recently joined with the Banning Unified School District 2 with our senior classes at the high school, and they've been donating to us as well. So I just wanted to take the time to come out here today and to let you know that what you are doing is very much appreciated. I know that many times I try to send out like little notes to thank you. If you do not get one, know that I really try my best to get one out there, but know that we really appreciate everything you do, because it's because of you that we could run this program every day. Also, I wanted to give you a little idea of the donations that everybody's sending. So how this works is, as you know, you have 2 districts that donate to us monthly. So what we do is we have a volunteer that sorts all the food that you donate, and then she puts it by date. So we have different cabinets, the food that's going to expire first and so on. And so then she's in charge of bagging, and she has helpers as well. Besides food, you also donate checks to us that we appreciate. Any type of donation we will take, because it's, you know, these seniors that we assist at our facility, this is all they have. A lot of them don't have family members. I've adopted many, and a lot of them, they just rely on the monthly food. And so sometimes they'll come to us and say, hey, I know I don't pick up my bag till this day. Can I have this? If we have it in our pantry, we offer that to them. So things that are in our pantry that you've donated have been like canned goods, have been soups, we get juices, let me think what else. Crackers, pastas, sauce, all that. I recently mentioned to a member that we also take paper goods. So if you want to donate cups, plates, paper towels, toilet paper, plastic goods, anything like that, a lot of the seniors benefit from all that as well. So those are just a few ideas of the things that we do take. And also I know that I had a question regarding gift cards. So if you want to go ahead and donate gift cards, we will take any gift cards, of course, but if you want to get more for your buck, we do go to Dollar Tree a lot, and we do go to Walmart a lot. So if you give us, for example, a gift card to Smart and Final, then we're very limited to what we can buy at Smart and Final, opposed to something like from the Dollar Tree, we'll be able to assist more seniors with more items. So that's just kind of an idea. I know I was asked what stores. Walmart we go to a lot. Dollar Tree we go to a lot. Food for Less. We do Albertsons as well and Stater Brothers, but those, we try to hit the stores we can get a bigger discount at. And other than that, I really, basically, besides me talking about all the stuff that we need, I really wanted to thank you, because you don't even know the impact you have. Like, I tell you, I adopted so many seniors. It's like, they're like my parents. So if at any point you're more than welcome to come to our facility, I know we're a little far from you, but you're more than welcome to come in, and I will walk you through like what we do, and Wednesdays is when we give out our food. But know that many seniors will ask us, well, where does the food come from? And we tell them, and they're very appreciative of what you're doing for them. So I'll take any questions. Yes.
Would you please use the microphone right in front of you? Any speakers today, if you don't use the microphone, it doesn't record, and therefore when they play it during the month, it's a blank, okay?
Would you please repeat those numbers, the 60 and 430?
Oh, we originally had about 60 seniors that would attend our facility. During the pandemic, we jumped to 130. And so now when we returned in April, it was, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people were still worrisome about the whole mask thing. And we did make it mandatory in April. Right now, it's recommended, and a lot of our staff and a lot of our seniors are still wearing it because we alert them when the numbers go up, and not to scare them, just so that they're cautious of what's going on around them. But we did jump to bigger numbers now, including with our numbers. I did bring our spotlights, and so kind of show you. Sorry, I didn't talk on the mic. Sorry. So this is our spotlight. I didn't quite bring a lot, but I can bring you more. I brought about 20 or 30 of these. This will give you an idea of what we do. We have programming just like you guys do. We have a lot of presentations, and it gives you an idea of what we do and we have to offer for the seniors. We work with a lot of groups that like to sponsor. You're always more than welcome to sponsor anything. If you ever wanted to say, hey, why don't we just have a fun day? Like, let's have a barbecue. Let's have a pizza day. You could always do something like that as well as a district. So you're more than welcome to, brainstorm and give me ideas, and I will try everything. I always say, let's try it. That's the only way we're gonna know if it's gonna work. And again, our numbers, have been going up slowly, and we still call our seniors. We have a program that some of the seniors here in Sun Lakes benefit from. I do have clients here in Sun Lakes. So besides, some of the clients will go visit us and they take some of our classes as well. But we have a morning greeter program that you're all welcome to sign up. It's basically, we call you and we make sure that you're okay every day. If you don't want to get called every day, I'll call you twice a week. I just want to make sure that you're okay. And how we do it is basically, if you don't pick up that line, we attempt 2 to 3 times. If you don't pick up, we call a neighbor. If the neighbor picks up, we call another neighbor or a family member. And if they don't pick up, we do a wellness check. And it's either your security here or we call PD. And we've gone through so many, clients here and that participate at our center and take advantage of some of our programs. And again, our pantry, I can't say enough that I really appreciate everything all your districts are doing for our community. And I thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate your attending today, taking time from your schedule.
And thank you for having me, and if you don't mind, I'm going to step out because I have to go cover the senior center. But I'll leave these behind. If you need more, I will drop them off, okay?
Fine, why don't you just give them to the,
Gentlemen?
right there on the table, and
Okay.
we'll pass them out, okay?
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Thank you.
Next on our agenda is Keith from the San Gorgonio Water District, District 3, I believe it is, and he is our representative, and he's going to introduce himself. Go ahead.
Sliding on me here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Kevin, you're good.
Take it out. How about that? Hi, my name is Kevin Walton. I'm an appointee to the San Gorgonio Pass Water Agency in February. Steve Latonin vacated his position, and that created a vacancy, and it was duly advertised, and I got to be the guy that got the seat. Good for you is I'm a resident here. And so my term, or Steve's term, is up in November, so I'll be looking for you come election time. But the real reason why I wanted to be here is I very much want to be your person to go to. Water right now is becoming quite the issue. I think everybody's aware that much is happening on the state level. It's very confusing. I'll be honest and say I think most of us in the water industry are pretty disappointed at the governor and just kind of slow this stuff is and the message coming out. Anyways, but on the good side, the pass here is in pretty good shape because we have aquifers, and our aquifers are pretty full. So what does that mean is that we get our water from the aquifers, and we got a couple of years certainly without any problem. So we just want to assure you that things are a lot better than what the Metropolitan Water District and the City of Los Angeles are facing. So when you hear those things over here, that's kind of unique to them. My history, I'm a retired fire captain from Rancho Cucamonga. I've spent the last 35 years in the Inland Empire, 20 years in Yucaipa, raised my family there, concluded my career, and then when I retired, we moved over here to help my mother-in-law. Maybe some of you may have known her, Ruth Steck, Leonard Steck, her husband. He played in the barbershops for many years, and she was very active in a lot of the things. So we were here to help her transition off to bigger and better things finally. And so, but we've decided to stay. So this is our home. So I feel very much a connection to the community and the position that I have. Like I said, water's a complicated thing. I'd like to avail myself to the community here. I'll leave my business cards. I'll leave my personal phone number. Anybody wants to, I do parties. If you have a delegate meeting or you have some question, you can just call. Like I said, water's complicated. And if I don't know the answer, I know somebody that does. So that's kind of my story. I'm glad to be here. I think I really want to serve you, and I think this is kind of a unique opportunity that since I'm in the community, that's kind of a special thing. So I'll take some questions. I would just say on a technical basis, it probably would be good for maybe a sidebar conversation. Otherwise, we'll get too wound up in things, but go right ahead.
Howard, you have a question for him?
Yes, you said the aquifers are okay. Are they recharging and staying at a zero balance so that they're not dropping?
We haven't been able to import water for a couple of years. So the answer to your question is the aquifers are dropping. So when we do get back into a wet year, like a couple of years ago, we had a very good season. We anticipate that it will rain again, and we'll top those aquifers back off. But as it stands right now, we haven't hit any critical margins. There's levels that are critical. We haven't hit those. And so one of our big customers, we're a wholesaler or a retailer, Beaumont Cherry Valley. They're keeping an eye on things, and they figure that they have a good 2 to 3 years of without any recharge, and that just kind of hits their threshold. Yes, sir. Did I answer your question?
Linda, you have a question?
I'm right here. Thank you. I'm glad you live here. We seem to be having a problem with the city giving us water on hole 16 on the executive course. That lake there feeds all the other lakes within Sun Lakes. And if you could find out why they shut us off occasionally and then that 16 goes down, we've lost fish. Because the level has been so low. It's been 2 feet away from the wall because they're not feeding us the water. And if you could bring back an answer, let Joe know, that would be really helpful.
Do you have access to email?
Excuse me?
Do you have email?
Joe, give it to Joe. He's our chief honcho.
The best way to do it so I don't mess up on, the he said, she said, the fish story, kind of oddly enough, is just to make sure that if somebody sends me a good question, I will research it and respond back, but I would...
Joe will take care of that.
Well,
Okay.
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 Yes, go ahead.
My question, I've asked this several times, and I always get that it's too expensive, or Beaumont doesn't want to share, or whatever. I mean, it's excuse after excuse why we don't have recycled water for places like shrubs, golf courses, things like that. What is banning? Are they even talking about doing recycling non-potable water for shrubs and landscaping?
Excuse me, I don't know whether those are fair questions for Kevin because he is with the San Gorgonio Water District, and Banning has their own water outlet. So
Excuse me, sorry about
if
that.
you know, Kevin, fine.
What I can tell you is that it's an expensive thing. Dealing with recycled water, you have to do with the waste, the brine solutions. There's limitations on how much you can ship somewhere. There's permitting issues on where you can send that water. A lot of developers have made a considerable amount of infrastructure, improvements, but it really hasn't been I would say, a high priority. If you've been following Beaumont, they've had some real interesting issues, and I think maybe even their leadership changes may even have something to do with their...
I don't think non-potable water is available in Banning at all. They were going to build a plant. They couldn't accumulate enough funds. I think they needed 12 million or what have you, and it just didn't gel. So is that historically
The answer to the question, I think, in long-term sense is that they have to do something about it. Everybody that is discharging we're getting our water, we run it through ourselves, this may not be gross, but, the effluent coming out of it has to go somewhere and has to be treated. The trouble is you keep on putting that water back into the aquifer, then that aquifer is going to become, nitrate, elevated. It's going to be a problem. So right now there's groundwater sustainability agencies that have formed. Now the government is making the locals have to be responsible for their conduct. So what you're going to see is those excuses that I think you're alluding to are not going to be allowed to be able to keep on going forward. These the efforts of the sustainability, groundwater sustainability thing is pushing and driving people to have to do responsible action. So you just can't keep on pumping your effluent back into the system because it'll just pollute everything. So there's a compulsion to go do things. Like I said, it's a complicated business, takes money. But let's put it this way, they're going to have to migrate to that because we just can't keep on doing what we're doing. I hope that answers some questions.
So I apologize, Kevin, you cannot answer my question for the banning in water into our lake, but could I have your last name?
How about if I give you a card? I have a bunch of cards. I'll leave them right here.
Are there any other questions for Kevin?
Here, I'll give you one specific right there.
If not, thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate your attending, and thanks for letting us know, okay?
Yeah, like I said, I'm available. If you have a question, just, give me a call or email, and I promise I'll get back with you. So, thank you.
We're all right. Okay, the next item on our agenda is Thomas, but I don't see him. So, Kara?
I'll be doing the report for Thomas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No
Chris,
worries.
go
He's
right
taking
ahead.
care of some issues. Delegates, what I've passed out to you is some flyers that are already on our website for July 4th on one side. On the other side is Father's Day. As the reminder for the community, June 19th, Father's Day, there is a Father's Day brunch. It is a ticketed event. The price, $35.95 without champagne, or for if you have children you're bringing that are 3 to 12 years old, $24.95. That will be, again, on Sunday, June 19th. If, when you get here at the table and you would like limitless champagne, you can ask your server, and that will be an additional $10 charge per person. And then on 4th of July, we have a special going on, Chef Chris's special pulled pork sandwich or the All-American grilled chicken sandwich. Both will be served with 8-hour baked beans, not 7, not 5, 8 hours. Coleslaw, house-made Sun Lakes chips, $70 per person. And again, these tickets, you can go to Betty in the restaurant or any hostess that is there and buy your tickets in advance. Spaces are limited, so act now. Next, specials. You may or may not know, there are weekly specials that are happening in the restaurant. One of the concerns from the community was, I don't know what the special of the day is because it's just given to me on the day of. So we've accommodated that request by putting on the website if you were to go to the Sun Lakes website, go to the restaurant menu and specials. There's a tab at the bottom that says specials. Please go there and you can see the specials for the upcoming week. Cara gets that and gives that to Hernan. Hernan uploads that on Sunday. So Sunday or Monday morning, you can look to see what the specials will be Wednesday through Saturday. Also, the board, the Restaurant Lounge Committee and the board have reviewed the new menu, and there have been some suggested changes. The tentative start date, if everything goes well and is approved, we're looking at June 14th, so stay tuned. With that, that completes Thomas's report.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Next is Kara, our Recreation Director.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everybody who came out to all of our May events. We had a really good ice cream social, a community shredding. I heard that was the first time that we've ever filled up that huge shredding truck. So we will have another shredding event in October. So my hint and clue would be, if you want to get your stuff shredded, please come early. But going on to June, we had our first Music on the Veranda last night. It was well attended. It was great to see everybody out there and having a really good time. So Renee will be here the first Wednesday of every month. So that's June, July, August, September, and October. So for the next 5 months, come out for that beautiful happy hour. Tomorrow, June 3rd, we will have a COVID clinic here in the ballroom. So if you need to get a booster or you're behind on your shots in any way, please come into the ballroom. You do not need to have an appointment. They will be here from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow, again, here in the ballroom. Our next ice cream social will be Monday, June 13th at 2 p.m. in the Sandwich. And it's a great price. It's only $3 for 3 scoops of ice cream and lots of nummy toppings. Also in June, we're going to start our Music Under the Stars program. So that is going to be the last Saturday of the month. So that will be June 25th. And our entertainment for that night is Rain Cross Drive. So come on out and enjoy that on Saturday, June 25th. I don't want to leave you without talking about the 4th of July parade. So please, if you're interested, we'd love to have you join in our parade. I hear it's a big thing, so this will be my first 4th of July celebration. We do have registration packages up at the front desk, or you can always call Linda or I, and we can email them to you if you're not able to make it up to the front desk. So again, 4th of July parade, we've got applications ready. Our theme this year is America, red, white, and blue. Our winners will get ribbons, gift certificates to the restaurant. One other thing that we have in July is a comedy night. Have a little entertainment on July 16th. I don't want to forget about all the beautiful travel arrangements that we have planned. A Silver Lining, Meridian, and Premier World Travel have lots of great trips coming up. A little side note is remember that family and friends are more than welcome to come on these trips as well. It's not just exclusively for Sun Lakers. We'd love to have your friends and family come with you. Silver Lining is going over to the Getty Museum. They're going to Medieval Times, the Mansions of Pasadena, if you've ever been to the Nixon Library. They also have some trips planned to the Hollywood Bowl. Meridian and Premier have some great trips, multi-day trips. All of this information is available on Good Day Sun Lakes, Channel 97, Lifestyles Magazine, and of course, we have lots of information at the front desk. So if you need any information, please check out the front desk, those other sources available, or just give Linda or myself a call. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
I understand that we have the ability to, a system to help the hearing impaired that is not functioning. I wonder if you have some timetable as to when that will get.
We're
to be
working on
functional.
quotes to get that whole system replaced.
I can't understand you.
We're working on quotes to get that whole system replaced, because all the equipment in the ceiling all needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced. It's not something that can be fixed.
It's not something that can be fixed.
Correct.
Right, we're going to have to replace the equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
And
is
so
there-
she's
are there any
getting
plans?
quotes.
Oh, she's getting quotes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, that's what I needed to know. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Do you have some timetable on when you think that might be,
I have 2, I need 3, so I'm working on the 3rd one.
super, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you. Oh,
No?
is there
All right.
another question?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cara. Thank you for your help. Next item on our agenda is a report from the Charitable Trust. David and Debbie are here to cheer you on for next week. David? Oh, David's not here.
David's not here, so you're stuck
Okay.
with me.
Debbie, you're going to carry the load.
Okay, let me just say that Charity Week is almost here. Few more days to iron out a few bugs. I've had a lot of calls regarding tickets. Here's the issue. None of our events are sold out. However, we have turned in all the numbers to Thomas for the food. So if you still want to get some tickets, simply give me a call. We'll put you on a list. If somebody can't make it, I will absolutely turn their ticket over to you. Okay? And then I don't want to leave without saying thank you, thank you, thank you to every delegate in this room. Without your support, we would not have been able to make this happen. So thank you for the deliveries you make, for getting us in your newsletter, for donating money in baskets. It helps a lot. And our program is printed and being delivered now. So everyone should get one on their doorstep. If you don't, let me know and I will get you some. Okay? That's it.
Thank you, Debbie, and good luck next week. Next item on our agenda has to do with the applications to the Master Architectural Committee. And we have Edgar here from the Planning and Compliance Department who's going to give us some tips. Okay, Edgar?
Joe,
Good afternoon, everybody.
Joe, I'm going to pass out the,
Yes,
what he's
please.
talking about.
We have a handout that we're going to pass out, and it alliterates some of the procedures that Edgar is going to speak about. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. You guys might know me already. I work over at the Planning and Compliance Department at the Administration Office. I am there from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then from 1:15 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Before I get started with the application procedure here and the applications, I always get a few questions from residents on what you need approval for and what you can do without getting approval. So let me hit on those items first. If you are in a single-family home and you are doing, say, for instance, a driveway that's maybe cracked or lifted or, tile work, anything that needs a replacement, including like water heaters, AC units, as long as they're not being removed from the area where they're at, as long as that concrete's staying the same way that it was previously and just being fixed, those type of items you would not need approval from the Master Architectural Committee. And that includes even, say your front tree dies and you replace it for the same type of tree in the same area, along with grass, bushes, annual flowers, or anything like that. Now, going with the applications here, we're going with how they should be filled out. We have, I believe, 5 applications, and I'll start with the first one, which is the painting. Now, the painting application, I do have all the paint colors in my office, and you're more than welcome to come within those hours that we are open to come in and look at them. I can always look up those colors as well from other homeowners' houses and get you the scheme that they have. Now, we do have an approved palette list, and like I said, we do have those in there. With that application, it does say that you need swatches for your application. If you don't have those in hand, bring the application in, and I'll attach those to it. Now, with that application, make sure that we do have at least 2 neighbor awareness signatures that can come within 3 houses. That's even left, right, behind you, or even across the street. I do get a lot of residents that do forget to sign the application, so make sure you do sign that. And that goes with every application that we have. I'll jump on over to vinyl fencing as well. For the vinyl fencing, there is a 5'2" limit. The color that is approved for the association is an off-white. If you have any questions or concerns about if it is approvable, come on to my office. Like I said, I have those samples there as well. Now, with fences, it gets a little tricky. If it is a shared fence, we will require a cover sheet from the application from your affected neighbor. So, for instance, sometimes we'll have one where it's just the left and the right, and we'll just need the application for the affected neighbor. Usually when it's the rear yard, it sometimes will hit 3 houses. Now, each neighbor can sign each application, but you can't sign your own. And that's why we'll still need those 2 neighbor awareness signatures. Now, for the other application, we have a miscellaneous. That's about a catch-all. So if it's something that you don't see a specific application that we have for, that will cover anything from lighting to pavers, relocation of a AC unit, anything like that. Let's see, and our other application that we have is patio covers. Now, for that one, same ways filled out as the other applications. There's 2 specific drawings that we need on that to get your approval, so the approval from the committee. One would be an overhead drawing, and that's stated in the rules and regs, and then the second drawing is a side view drawing. Bring those in. I can always overlook any application before it goes to the Mass Architecture Committee. What I try to do is encourage residents to come in. I will look at it at my best knowledge. I will go through the applications that you brought in and make sure that we have every single item that's on there and nothing is missing so it doesn't get kicked back. Now, is there any questions that you guys might have?
Go over there, Linda.
Me.
Oh, go ahead.
If you mentioned it, it went over my head. I'd like to know about artificial turf in front yards. Do we have to apply, and how long does it take?
Artificial turf is allowed. Depending on when I receive the application is when it will get reviewed. The Master Architectural Committee meets on the second and fourth Tuesday, but I always need the application a week prior. For instance, the next meeting is June 14th, and I would need that application June 7th. For artificial turf, you will need the landscaping application along with an artificial turf checklist. It will require a licensed contractor. That list he should fill out. He will also usually provide the drawings showing the areas that are being done along with the sample for the artificial turf.
Those papers that you said were necessary, are they in your office available?
They are in my office and at the administration office.
Thank you.
Now, when you do get your approval for any application, there is a 120-day time span where you have to complete that work. Anything on top of that, I could usually grant you an extra 30 days. Anything after that, you'll have to request an extension from the committee.
Over there, Linda, go ahead.
Do you have to have an appointment to meet with you?
No, come in, but I would definitely call or check in. That way I am not out on the field and I miss you.
Okay. And if you have the address of somebody who has the colors of the painting that you want, do you still have to bring swatches of color?
No, if they're from our approved colors, I can pull those out from my drawers. I have a drawer with pretty much, probably like 95% of the colors there.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Is there any place that what you went through is written down someplace? Is that in the CCRs?
What's that again? I'm sorry.
What you just talked about, is that written down any place?
Yes, that's all in the rules and regs. You'll find it under Article 4 with all the items listed for the architectural standards.
It might do well at the moment, every Friday, or not every other Friday, before the architectural meeting on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, Edgar has a tablet for the members of the architectural committee, and that tablet contains all of the applications that are going to be covered that morning. And that gives about the whole weekend and Monday for the members of the architectural committee to research, find out if there are any questions and what have you. At the meeting, Edgar makes a presentation on every application, answers all of the questions having to do or come from the members of the architectural committee. So he is a key member. And if any of you at any time need any help, he's sociable enough and he is extremely helpful. So I would obviously recommend that you give Edgar a call, and I'm sure he can help you. Are there any other questions? Go ahead, Barb.
Most of that information used to be on the website, like the paint colors and the applications. Is it no longer on the
They are
website?
still on there. You're going to want to click on the tab under Planning and Compliance, and you'll see that right there. You'll see my face, and you'll see the applications along with the rules and regs as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming today and giving such a presentation.
Let me just leave you with one last thing. I keep on saying it over and over. Please, if there's any questions, if you want me to look over that application so you get your approval, please come in. I'm more than willing to help, and I want you to get your approval. So like I said, if there's anything missing, you think there's something you might be missing, come on in. I'll try to lead you the right way.
One more, go ahead. Use the microphone, please.
No, you need to be on the microphone, sorry.
How long realistically should we expect this artificial grass to last? Realistically?
That would depend on the manufacturer and the company they're using. There's different warranties that they're giving out. It all depends on who you actually pick. I've seen some go 10, 15, it all depends who you're using.
Okay, any more? Thank you. Linda, go ahead.
I just have a comment. At the last delegate meeting, Joe said, if you have any ideas for the agenda, to please let him know. And I asked Joe if Joe and I could work together and bring one department at each meeting to talk about things that are going to help you deal with your residents. If this is something that you would like us to continue, Joe and I will be working on it. I sent around a blank piece of paper so you could add topics that would be informative to you. What Edgar talked about today was really interesting because just on Facebook yesterday, someone said, do I need an application to remove a shrub and replace it? So this has been very informative, and your residents can now contact you and you can help them out. So I hope you appreciated Edgar coming. I know I did.
Chris?
So just continue on what Edgar said. So if you go on the website, upper tab is community information. Then there's planning and compliance. You will see Etanisa, you'll see Edgar, you'll see applications and information that you can click on those. Paint information, paint samples, all there on the website.
Okay. Any other comments? Fine. Thank you. Thank you very much, Edgar, for your help. I put 2 items on the agenda because there's been a number of questions since the election about newsletters and about the bank accounts. So they're open for discussion. The first one would be the newsletters. Any of you have any questions of staff or the board or myself or anything? Go ahead, Linda.
I really would like to see all of the districts stay to what is important for their district. We do not need to repeat what is in lifestyle. We don't need to repeat what's on 97, because I noticed our printing for the district delegates overexceeded the budget. So if we could stick with what's important for our districts, and then of course the board information is always attached. My only comment, and black and white, not color.
Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Ray.
In answer to your questions, I pretty much, or what you just said, I pretty much put in my district newsletter what a lot of the people do not have computers. They can't get on, or they don't even have maybe a TV, I don't know. But based on the survey that we did, there were a lot of people not getting information. I put in there what I think they would be interested in coming seeing at the clubhouse, what they might be interested in the menus, or anything that, and I've gotten a lot of compliments that they get more information now than they used to.
I think that's one of the reasons that the newsletter was probably the top information source for a number of our residents. I think we have to remember and keep reminding ourselves that not everybody has a computer, and if they do have a computer, not everybody goes to the website of Sun Lakes. So therefore, their information source is going to be you, or it's going to be lifestyles. And there are times when I put dates or reminders in my newsletter in regards to things that I think are really important, and I think that's so. So if any of you have any other questions, go ahead, please.
I've had several people call me, not in my district, and they're asking me why their district doesn't hand out a newsletter, that they don't get one at all. And I know we have a lot of new people, myself included. Maybe they don't know how to do the newsletter.
Well, it's one of the obligations that a long time ago the Assembly approved that each district will hand out a newsletter every month to every resident. Now, if you're not doing that, you're in violation of an obligation that you have when you became delegate of this district. Secondly, alongside of that, I am asking, it's perhaps not mandatory, but please send a copy by email to the administration. Who does that go to now, Chris? Oh, okay. Send a copy of your newsletter so that it appears on the website. Many of the district delegates, I think, are like me. When I ready to write my newsletter, I scan about a half a dozen or more of the other districts' newsletters to see if I missed anything. And I also have had phone calls, people saying, thank you. The only place I get news is from the newsletters, and I can go on the website and I can read them all. So there you are. Okay?
Joe,
Barb, go ahead.
I was told by Cara to send it to Hernan.
You are correct. You are correct. It's not Cara anymore. It is Hernan. But CC Jason, please. Yes.
Okay.
I want to make sure we have.
Okay, so it's Jason now that gets the, and who? Oh, okay, the
Hernan
general,
Rojas.
he's the receptionist.
Right next to Cara's office.
Receptionist, right?
Yeah, the specialist, the AV tech specialist.
Okay. All
Jack
right.
of all trades, correct.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm new, so I may be mistaken, but I think the gentleman at the print shop said he sends one over. Is that true or not true to administration? In other words, I took my letter in to have be printed, right? And then collated with the others. Oh, only the invoice.
Right, because I need to be able to put it online, and Hernan is going to be the one that puts your newsletter online as well. So we need to get it to us. Because once you give it to the printer, they'll print it, but they don't send a copy to us.
Okay, I misunderstood that. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want it printed, send it by email to one of two sources that we have, Aero Printing or Lithopass. Those are the two authorized printers. Okay? All right, the next item has to do with bank accounts. Now, let me make a couple of comments. If you are paying any kind of a monthly fee, you shouldn't. Either change banks or find out why you are being charged. I was being charged at the bank, and I found out because I was getting a monthly hard copy of my account. I said, I don't need it. I signed 6 checks out of the whole month, the whole year. And they said, okay, we won't send it, then we'll take the $5 a month off of your bill. So there you are. So I would suggest that you look into that. Nita?
I had something to say about the newsletter. I think some people in the past, I don't know they're doing it now, were not writing paper newsletters. They were just emailing or doing an e-blast with the newsletter. And they're not supposed to do that, right?
If they have a 100% mailing list, I guess they can do it. But I doubt whether there's a district that has more than 75 or 80%.
Yeah. Well, and then there's some people with no computer at all.
That's true. Okay. Anything else? All right. Now we would ask the Board of Directors. Bob?
Thank you, Joe. The board has expanded the committees. We have a new contract committee and a new finance committee. They've already been interviewed and selected, and they're up and operational. So I want to thank everybody for volunteering. We also developed a new communication program with FSR. It's called Message to Management. It's on your web page. So on the top right-hand side, you can email directly to FSR any concerns or complaints or compliments that you have, and they will respond to you on a very timely basis. Veranda lighting has been approved by the board to improve safety and ambiance. The board has approved replacement of cardio equipment in the South Clubhouse. You got it. We also approved 6 new Samsung Galaxy tablets for the Master Architectural Committee, who was here today. We approved purchase of 10 new spectator chairs in the billiards room. The credit book or the script will now expire after a year and a half. So if you have script on for the golf, it will expire December 31st, 2023. So you have a year and a half to use it. Right now we have 44,000 in script. The board also approved travel posters to be placed in the bus room. The community awareness presentation is going to be in the main ballroom on June 23rd at 1 o'clock. The presenters will be the 2 fire captains, one from the Riverside County Fire, the other is CAL FIRE, and there'll be paramedics also at that particular presentation. And last but definitely not least, the listening sessions will continue the first Monday of every month, 3:30 in the Sandwich. Next one is scheduled as June 6th. July is dark, so there'll be no listening session in July.
I just have a couple things. We also have a new ad hoc committee that has been formed to explore the possibility of expanding the board of directors above 5. We have no idea what they're going to come back with, but we want them to do all the research, and it's an ad hoc committee. They're going to have a 90-day window to get us a report, and we're going to go from there. Second thing, one of the things that I've learned on the board is that through Securitas, our call center, a large majority of our calls are simply people calling in to put names at the gate. I understand there's a lot of people without smartphones or computers, as we just heard. However, use of the Dwelling Live application, I've spoken with Jason, and we're going to try to set up getting a tutorial video made for the Dwelling Live. And that way more people can use that, which will free up some of Securitas time for other jobs or lower expenses. That'd be the main goal. And as Debbie already mentioned, Charity Week starts Monday. It should be a good time for all. And as I like to always say, thank you to all the delegates for all you do. Thank you.
Are there any other board members present? No, okay. Chris, administration.
Just a quick update reminding all the members and delegates to get their age verification survey done before July 1st to be entered into a drawing for prizes. After that date, you will not be eligible, and then the delegates will be getting an update of each of their districts, how many have been turned in, so that we can then seek your assistance in making sure we can achieve that over 80% of the community responding. So that is just a quick update, please. That's it.
Any other comments, Chris? No? All right, the comments from the delegates, District 23. Howard?
Yes, Dan, the delegate for 23, had a question. For those residents that live on Sawgrass, there is a hill behind their houses, and he wants to know, to tell those residents, who's going to take care of that hill? Is it a responsibility of theirs to take care of the shrubbery, the grass, leaves, or is this a responsibility of the homeowner association?
Chris?
I'll have Mark Schleiding follow up with the delegates on that, and specifically your member.
District 22 has no questions at this time.
Sue?
District 20 has no questions at this time.
District 19 always has something to say. I watched the open session because we were on vacation, and I noticed that the board has stopped street sweeping. And I was wondering if you considered all the dirt from the freeway and the trains for the north side, and if you would reconsider at least maybe looking at the north side, going back to street sweeping, because in the end of 6 months, it is really going to be disgusting, because we get more than the other side. And then I found misleading, I just want to say misleading information from the Restaurant and Lounge Committee report, when she said 331 days were not utilized. And I just want to know what is included in that. Is it just the main clubhouse? Did she include the veranda, which I think she did? Did she include the north clubhouse, which I think she did? Did she include the south clubhouse, which I think she did? And I think that's wrong, because we don't have the means of supporting that at this time.
I believe you're correct. I believe she was including the veranda. And in reference to the other question about the street sweeping, that came as a result of some complaints from our residents here, because apparently the street sweepers are not using water, they're just pushing around and they're making more dirt and more problems. And so we wanted to try to see if there was any difference. So we just discontinued it for a 6-month as a trial to see whether or not she was correct.
I'll give you a comment later. And the other thing that I'd like to see, there's so much negativity going on, and I like to think positively. Is there a way that we can look at golf operations, what Brian does, and that man has brought golf up to black. We've not had any red in his area. Could we separate the treasurer's report to report on golf operations and golf maintenance as a separate entity? And explain, I mean, I know it takes a lot of manpower to take care of our golf courses, but I also would like to see some positive information for our community. Just a suggestion, and I'm done.
District 17, one thing that I'd like to talk about is when we do the welcome home, I think an important part of the delegate's job is to put a positive spin on all of our amenities, and so try to keep anything that's negative, like maybe you've got a pet peeve or whatever, leave that off the plate, because people are new and we need to build up their enthusiasm. We want them to use the amenities, and we want it to be a very positive experience. So I just wanted to throw that out. And then the other thing Joe asked me to do, apparently in the past we've always had July dark because of vacations and stuff. So I'd like to find out if somebody would give us a what? Do we want to go dark in July?
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Anybody want to second it? Okay. Everybody in favor say aye. Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we want to have our next meeting in August and we'll go dark in July? Say aye. I think that's the majority. All right, thank you. Renelle?
I have one question for Jason. Did we ever do the computer training? What about the people? I know the computer training for Sun Lakes, that's through the country club? I mean Sun Lakes Country Club?
You talking about the training of going through the website?
Yes.
It's on the website. If you
But
go,
how do you, I have several.
So if you go in there and you're in there, you can go through the training of where everything's at. What Bob and Hernan are working on now is taking the first about 2 minutes of that video and putting it on the public side, which just show you, here's your ID, this is what you type in, here's your password, this is what you type in, there you go.
What about the people that never use their, the card?
Well, on their card is their ID number.
Well,
And so
unfortunately, there are some people that never have used it, don't have one.
they don't have to have used it, but
They don't
if
have
they
one.
don't have one, then they need to stop by the administration
Okay.
office. Yeah.
I found
Every
that-
resident should have one, whether you use it or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't have it. We had a very, very successful social last night in District 14. But one thing that I noticed, and I would just like to know if anybody else is noticing, I have a lot of older people in my district. And I didn't have very many new people. Are you experiencing the same thing, that you're having your older people come and not the new ones? Okay, all right. I enjoy the meeting.
Jeannie?
I just had one question. You were talking about the bank accounts. We got charged a dormant fee for 4 months when we weren't using the account. And we didn't really use it for almost 2 years because we didn't have any events or anything because of the virus. Is that a fee that also is refundable?
I'm sorry, Jeannie, to be honest with you, I did not understand you. Can you, there you,
I got charged a dormant fee on the bank account. Is this something also that they can waive as well as a monthly service charge?
no, the service charge is the only thing that they can waive. That's the only charge that you get. At least U.S. Bank will charge you, I know, if you want a hard copy each month.
No.
If the,
This was
a
just
dormant account,
a dormant account, but they only charged us for 4
it
months.
doesn't make any difference whether it's a dormant account, it's still an account, to my knowledge. That's the way it was explained to me.
Yes. Well, U.S. Bank.
Yes,
Okay, well, I'll go talk to him, see what.
okay. Ann?
I think it's on. Ann Hofer, District 12. I just have a couple of things. The past few weeks, and I address this to Chris Mitchell, the past few weeks, the gate, at Gate 5, the arm has not been coming down. People have just been coming and going, whether it's a resident or a non-resident, and the guard has not been stopping any of them. Is this something that's been fixed? Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I've been off. I just got back on Tuesday. So Jason informed me that a work order has been put in for that gate arm.
Okay, so it is now still not going up and down?
Correct, but they should be addressing those cars coming in.
Okay.
We'll follow up with Securitas after this meeting.
I personally had another issue happen to myself with a vendor coming through to do service on my golf cart. And he got to the gate, didn't have my address, but he had my name. Now, I used Dwelling Live and put all my information in there for them to allow him to come in. He was turned away by the guard. I was livid because I had to wait a week before I could get my golf cart serviced, and had to meet the gentleman outside on Sunday afternoon of Gate 5 just to get my cart fixed. Now, are we training our guards to be able to spell or understand what the name is that they're asking for at the gate?
You know, I did see that, and it appeared that the name that the mechanic or whoever did coming out, for some reason, it was not communicated or they could not find it. So we've asked when an order is come or a call is coming in from a member to put somebody into the Dwelling Live, just to make sure to spell back, ensure that the spelling is correct.
Okay, I personally put my own Dwelling Live, I put the name in. And so I know it was there, and I know what my spelling of my name is, but why did the guard not go to find out who I was? Is that not something they do?
They would, and I think they asked the gentleman, I'm trying to look for the Securitas report, but I believe they asked the mechanic or whoever, and they couldn't provide the right spelling, and that's why they couldn't find your name. They couldn't find that issue. That was, and I thought Mike Romero gave you a call on that as well, because he had reported to me that he followed up on that.
Yeah, I did talk to Mike that day. I mean, I was very upset. It was just disturbing. The second issue that I have is we're having some paving done in our District 12, and I'd like to know if the residents in that district, outside of from myself notifying them, if those residents have been informed of the dates that that paving will come about.
And I believe that's on the website. Let me go check.
There again, if they don't have can't have access to website, are they having anything, notification to their mailboxes other than?
Thank you, Mark.
There you are.
They will be posted 2 days prior. So every street will have posting and information.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Chip. No more questions, thank you.
Peggy?
Nothing, thank you.
George?
District 9 has nothing.
Hey, I just wanted to ask
Do we have a plan to have Gate 5 open on Father's Day to help people get in and out a little bit quicker?
Yes, that is the schedule plan like we did on Mother's Day.
I think there was some confusion after last month's delegate meeting where the gentleman from Past Action Group talked about door-to-door solicitation. I got a lot of clarification from Jason on what a delegate is allowed to do, participate in, or be represented in. And I don't know that a lot of people know that it is allowed, the door-to-door solicitation for money or whatever is allowed, but that as a delegate, you cannot do that. Because I was being asked to do it as a delegate and to also bring in, give them a list of people in my area that would be willing to help go door to door.
That's true. Okay, thank you. District 7. Give her a mic.
It's not working, but I don't have anything. That should be loud.
Okay. David.
This one's working.
Dolores Doherty, District 4. I want to talk to Bob about something I brought up last delegate assembly meeting with the individual that was arrested and released here back in his Sun Lakes. And I was told that I could mention something in my newsletter, which I did, but I was not allowed to mention a name, which I did not. Why can the delegates in their newsletters put a copy of that article that already has all the information? We're just furnishing something that is of public record.
So legal counsel had advised the board not to be redistributing the police reports or anything. The HOA's responsibility, scope of what it's supposed to be doing does not extend to the public safety aspect that the city, the police department have. And the attorney warned the board that by doing such an action might open the association, district, delegate to possible libel or other legal issues. And so it was highly recommended not to do that, and that's why the board has not publicized, has said, please go to the official site for the city for crime statistics. That is their job, that's their duty. It is not the association's duty to do that because it may misrepresent. We may put information that, that there was a murder because we thought that's what's on the website, and then the city takes it down, but we left it on our website. That could be libel. So we need to let the city handle their business, their issues, and we need to stay within our focus. That's what legal counsel advised.
But this involves everybody that lives in this
And
community, and she's still here.
And I understand that.
Yeah, it's something that's not debatable, to be honest with you. Jim?
Thank you. Jim Nichols, District 3. Jason, I have a question. The restaurant was supposed to be open 7 days. Is there any time frame on that?
You want Jason or Chris?
Sorry?
Jason's over there, Chris is here. You said Jason, did you want Jason to answer that?
I'm sorry.
I can run that over, Randy.
I know who votes
The
you out.
goal is still working toward that, but unfortunately, as any of you have watched the news and everything, there are a lot of poaching going on. We've lost, now our front of the house manager is gone. We've lost some other staff members, and so we're constantly in the process of recruiting. So our goal is to get to 7 days. We'd love to have that sandwich open 7 days a week. That is our goal, and we're working toward that. I don't have a timeline yet.
Chris, I just want to give a compliment about Thomas. I come from the food industry, hotels, resorts, and I want to tell you the food quality and presentation is very, very good. The entertainment on the weekends is really excellent. So
I'm going to give your thanks to Thomas, to Chef Chris, and
Exactly.
Cara for the music. I'll give them all kudos for you.
Thank you, but it's done well. Thank you.
Loretta?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Barbara?
Thank you.
No comment from District 1.
Okay.
Joe, may I please have, Raylene said something, and I need need clarification because, and maybe Randy, you can pipe in. No, and I know right now.
She's
I'm
talking about
to her.
Raylene's thing.
I'm talking about Raylene, whatever. The Pass Action Group, I was contacted to go door to door to solicit money for the Pass Action Group. Are we allowed to do that or not? I need clarification.
That's why I brought it up, because Joe, you had asked me to bring it up again so that maybe Jason can clarify it, or you can, of what the delegates are allowed to do and not allowed to do.
Thank you, Raylene.
I'm going to let Jason explain his email that went out to Don Day on that.
Because it is political in nature, the civil code allows this to take place. However, legal has advised, as the community, as the HOA, and since delegates are a representative of the HOA, they need to be hands off of it. So in your capacity as a delegate, you cannot go around and solicit. Residents can, so a resident of the community can, and we do have residents that are doing that, but since you are an elected official of the association, you may not be able to take part in this.
Okay.
Can I ask another question about that then?
Yes, go ahead, one last question.
Okay, when we were asked last time to let our people know, I did put in our newsletter where they could contact Jeannie and Randy and put information in my newsletters. Am I not allowed to do that either? I'm just not allowed to go door to door.
I would, honestly, I would stay away from that too.
Okay.
What you're doing as a delegate now. Wait, Jason, get on the, sorry. I don't want Joe to yell. As a delegate, I would still shy away from that because that newsletter is an association newsletter that's going out. So if you really look at it, that's coming from the association. So if you read into it, you're telling them that the association is saying, hey, this is okay, let's go ahead and do this. So I would just stay away from mentioning that. Now, as a homeowner, you can talk about it whenever you want to. Just putting in an official document like the newsletter or going around yourself as a delegate door to door, that should not happen.
Okay. Thanks, Joe, for getting me in trouble.
Thank you, Jason.
So you mean I shouldn't put that in my newsletter
No.
about the donating to the past action?
No. Okay, and some of you may say, well, I'm a member. Well, but you are an elected delegate or associate or alternate delegate. So therefore, you are no longer just a member of the HOA, you are an official. So therefore, you cannot participate, okay? We were going to update our handbook. Where are we on that? Jim?
Thank you. No, we did not form a committee, and we ought to do that now if that's something we want to do. I took the outdated pages of the old handbook, and I made copies for each delegate, and I left them at their place today. And those are the only pages that are outdated. Now, if we want to make changes to the book itself, we can get a committee to do that. But by the time people go home and open the notebooks and put the pages in that I've given them today, the notebooks are up to date.
Hey, Joe, Randy over here. Just pointing out, we were just chatting, double checking, that is not on today's agenda. So you probably can't, I don't know if we can set it up or not.
Okay. You all set then?
Yeah, Joe, if both of you can put that on the agenda for the next one and make that an action item, you can take care of it at that point.
Okay.
Please.
That's what we should do. All right. I think that's all that I had. I would like to mention one thing about Securitas. I called Securitas, the gate. You may have had a report in the fact that someone, a homeowner, not in my district, called saying that someone at 11 o'clock had rapped on her door. She's an elderly lady in her 90s, and it scared the daylights out of her. And she looked through the peephole that she had in her door, and she saw someone that was less than 55 years of age and what have you. So I asked the Securitas if they would go by her home a couple of times that night, and also a couple of nights after that, and the rover did. So Mike did a beautiful job on covering and working for the people here, and I wanted to let you know, Chris. Okay? One last comment I have, and that is that a number of you at the beginning, the orientation and so on, said that our agenda is rather sterile. It seems like it's just set. And I would like to remind you, the agenda is set by you. I did not receive one item on the agenda. This is all my doing. And that's the way it's been for the last months. So I am telling all of you that send in, give me some agenda items if you feel that you want to, okay? Linda, last comment.
Did you want to mention about Jack Sidwell's service?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, I do have one more comment. As you know, Jack Sidwell passed away some weeks ago. The memorial will be at the Beaumont Presbyterian Church. That is 702 Euclid Avenue. If you're writing it down, 702 Euclid Avenue in Beaumont. And the ceremony is at 10 o'clock in the morning. And so please, it's June 11th, okay? June 11th, 10 o'clock at the Presbyterian Church in Beaumont. Thank you. Now, are there any comments from our residents in the audience? If you would please go up to the microphone. All right, go right ahead. Steve?
Steve Neese. I'm here on behalf of EPAP Animal Rescue. I wanted to ask the delegates if they would put something in their newsletter, what's happening here. And at 5 o'clock this morning, a pack of coyotes attacked a pretty good-sized dog at the South Clubhouse. And the dog put up a pretty good fight. He lost, and it went from him growling to whimpering. And I went out at 5 to try and find him. And the reason I mention this is that the female coyotes have had their pups, and they're now trying to find enough food to feed them. And at this time, the pups are just extremely hungry. So coyotes are now hitting Sun Lakes in the daytime and at night. 2 days ago on my walk, one coyote walked right by me, looked me over, thought about whether to think I was his lunch or not, apparently thought I was too big, and he just went staring at me as he walked right by. So they're very, very courageous right now. So if you could put in your newsletter, please keep your pets inside day and night, because they're out in the daytime as well. And unfortunately at 5 this morning, somebody's pet didn't make it. So please put in your newsletter, just watch your pets carefully, please.
Thank you for the reminder, Steve. Appreciate it. Linda?
Linda Vieira, District 9. Bob, you mentioned something about writing to the message to management. Is that something that residents can do? And where do I find that?
So you're going to find it if you go to the website again, and you'll log in, and it is right on the banner. See if you guys on the camera can see my screen. Right on the banner, right there at the top, right under the name says, "Welcome, Linda Vieira." There's a little says message to management. That email will then, it's a form you fill out. You hit submit. So you put your name, contact information, the question or concern, whatever, send that. That goes to Jason and myself.
Okay. My other comment is that whenever this meeting or the board meeting, whenever they are recorded, and I've watched many of them, and I have also been present in the audience for many of them, and I implore you to identify yourselves whenever you speak, even if you're a district person. A lot of the district people don't know each other. State your name and your district, and it's the same thing I spoke to Bob before about the board meeting. People will come up and just talk, and people who are watching at home have no idea who those people are, and I implore you to insist that people do that.
Thank you, Linda.
Good afternoon, Al Jazzcar, District 2. First item I'd like to do is commend the Architectural Board. We recently had desert landscaping put in on our whole lot, and they worked very well with us. We had a nice drawing from the contractor that they appreciated, and if anybody's interested, come by 5977 Brookside and take a look at it. The second item is I am on the canvassing committee for the Pass Action Group, and we're going to be canvassing this month for donations for the Pass Action Group. So if any of the delegates know of neighbors or members of their neighborhood that may wish to be canvassers, please let Don Day know, and he's in the phone book. The third item is the crosswalk at Riviera and Country Club. The paint has worn off almost completely on that crosswalk, and I was almost run over this morning when I was walking my dog at about 5:30 this morning. So I'd like to request that that be painted. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, Kevin Walton. I'm a resident here, and I don't know my district. Kind of bad. So someone will teach me on that. But the question or the response here is.
Would you get a little bit closer to the microphone, please? Take it out of its.
Okay,
there
that's
you
better.
go.
Okay. Several months ago, I was approached by a resident who represented themselves as an official capacity of Sun Lakes. Had a question on emergency preparedness issue and about drinking water out of the, we'll say the basins or the golf course for an emergency practice. I approached the state and I got a definitive answer for that. I attempted to get back to the person and I could not. The email didn't go through, it was rejected. So I have a definitive answer from the state of California. I'd like to get that to you. I don't know who would be best served to receive that. Would that be administration, master board? I don't know. If somebody could give me some guidance on that, I'll send it to you. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, all of you, for your comments. And is there anything else from the delegates? I was a little remiss. I was reminded today at the beginning of our meeting that I should say today is Thursday, June 2nd, and our meeting begins at 2 o'clock. Well, I put it at the wrong end of the meeting, evidently, so I hope I'll remember next month. Thank you, and this meeting is adjourned.